What is up, guys? Hopefully you're doing well. So my first video for probably about a week or so now, which is mad to think. I wanted to do a little video today talking about something that I think is kind of majorly important. So I've been kind of looking at quite a lot of Jonathan's TikTok videos recently, and there's one thing that has really started to grind my gears. Obviously, you always see comments from people wanting to know what bathroom ED uses, and it's like, why do people need to know that about a child? You're always seeing like really inappropriate comments about ED's private parts and things like that. But the thing that's really started to wind me up is the fact that people are constantly bickering over whether or not Edie is trans. People saying, oh, Edie's a boy, no, she's a girl, Edie, oh, two sons, two boys, two girls, three girls and one boy, two daughters, two sons, three daughters, one son. That's what we are seeing on every TikTok video that Edie's in. And my right with this is, why do people need to be bickering on about Edie being trans on videos that don't even relate to that? Like, I mean, if the video, I'd say fair enough. If the videos were related to that, I'd say fair enough. But the videos are not even related to that, what's the point? I mean, what do people think they're achieving by bickering about that? They're not actually achieving anything. At the end of the day, I don't particularly have a problem with, ED being trans. I think when you look at ED, you do, and I know in the past I've been quite critical about this. And I've said that I think Jonathan, and I do believe Jonathan forced, the whole trans thing on ED. But I think at the end of the day, when I look at that now, I won't say that I've been unfair to criticize Jonathan for the sort of thumbnails that he's using, or the way that he's exploited his kids. But I can't. I think it's a little bit unfair to say that he's kind of forced the whole trans thing on ED without any real sort of proof or evidence to kind of back that up. I don't think it's really fair for people to say, oh, he forced that decision upon her, or he influenced that without any real proof or evidence. And I know that I've said that before, about him forcing, about being so 100% certain, and not having any doubt that he'd forced, the decision upon Edie. But I feel like I realise when I look back at that now that I was being a little bit harsh, and I was thinking, and I was a bit unfair to say that without any real proof or, evidence. Um, I just think, my honest opinion on things is that people just need to respect Edie, respect who she is, respect, and just back off. I don't get why people are bickering and getting so, getting so fussed over something that isn't even affecting them or doesn't even concern them. People just need to mind their own business. They need to back off and just allow Edie to be who she is, and allow her to be who she wants to be. And at least like, people just need to be supportive of that, rather than posting constant negative comments. I don't see the need for that. I just think that people need to be positive about that and just be genuinely supportive rather than be, negative. I think, at least at the end of the day, I mean, Edie deserves to be proud of who she is. Let's say that. I mean, the one thing I will say, there's no doubt in my mind that when you look at Edie, when you see the videos and you look at Edie, you can see that she's so much happier as a girl than she was as a boy. You can really see that. I think with Edie, when you look at her, she's a very bright, positive, happy, confident, bubbly, lively, energetic, talented young girl. She really is. And I think, it is great when you look at he's like Edie and Amelia, and you see how, confident they are and how talented they are. I mean, that's something you can say for Edie. She's a very, happy, talented, bright, confident, happy, positive young girl, an energetic, bubbly young girl, lively young girl, and she deserves to know that people are supportive of her decision. I don't have a problem with Edie being trans. If she's genuinely trans, then I will happily support that. I don't care whether, about Edie's age. I don't think that matters. I know that some people will say that Edie, have that mindset that Edie's too young to be trans, and I did that, and I did at one point. I admit that at one point I did have that mindset that, Edie was a little bit too young to be trans, and I think at one point that was one of the biggest reasons why, I didn't particularly agree with Edie being trans, was because, she was so young. Um, but I think it's amazing to think that she was able to make such a big decision at such a young age. I think that really is an amazing thing to think about. The only thing that I just don't agree with is the way that Anna and Jonathan have both exploited Edie being trans. That's the only thing I don't agree with. I don't want it to sound like I'm suddenly defending Jonathan and Anna, because I'm not really defending them. I'm just saying that, just saying that people need to back off of Edie a little bit and just, allow Edie to be who she is and be who she wants to be. People should allow Edie to, take pride in that. I'm not, Edie shouldn't have to hide who she is. Edie should be able to be proud of who she is. You know, and the least that people can do is show that they're willing to be supportive of her decision. Whatever decision she makes. You know, the best thing you can do is just be supportive of that. And show and just do the right thing. Like, that would be the right thing to do, is just support Edie in whatever way you can. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that Edie really does deserve that support, and I think, it's just one of those things. Edie really does deserve to be supported and to be, cared about, if you know what I mean. Um, like, I don't agree with all these, negative comments about Edie being trans. I think, you know, there's just no need for it in today's society. I think it's better to be supportive. I think it's way better to be supportive than to be transphobic. It's better to love someone for who they are than hate them for that. Hate them for the fact that, they're trans or whatever, because there's no need for that. Um, and Edie doesn't deserve that. She's such a happy, positive, confident young girl, and it's like she doesn't deserve the way that the way that some people are bullying her. It's just sad, to be honest with you. But I'm not gonna I'm on to say, well, I think that Jonathan and Anna have opened Edie up to that, but I think it's just the way that some people choose to be. And I admit, for the longest time, maybe I've been a bit transphobic myself, maybe, but I don't know, I think I've decided that I'd rather be supportive, and I'd rather allow Edie to be who she is and be who she wants to be. It's at the end of the day, her gender isn't important. Her being trans isn't important. You know, What's more important is the fact that Edie is now, happier than she ever was before. When she was a boy. You can see that she's way happier than she ever used to be as a boy. She's that. As a girl, she's a lot more happy, a lot more confident. You know, I mean, I know that Anna and Jonathan have obviously done their best to try and support Edie, and they've obviously been trying to show that they support Edie being trans, but I feel that they haven't really shown that in the correct way. Like they've gone about it in a completely the wrong way. And unfortunately, the way they went about it, and the way they've gone, or should I say, the way they've gone about it, has resulted in becoming one of the most controversial, becoming two of the most controversial people online, on social media as a whole. I think that I think that it's great. I think, they're really, they are really talented. I think we've seen, you know, I think, you can really see how talented they are. I think, um, I see both Edie and Amelia going on to be, like actresses when they get older. I think they'll do something within the entertainment industry, and I think acting, is definitely an avenue that, Edie and Amelia should go down because their acting in the videos is top quality. Their acting in the videos, like in the YouTube shorts in particular, is so good. Like, the hits are just so funny to watch. Like, I understand why people are watching them because the hits are so funny to watch. No, don't get me wrong. I do think that hits are so funny to watch. Like, I mean, obviously, I despise the parents for the way they're exploiting the kids, but I do think that it's quite, funny to watch. I think they are, you know, they are quite funny, to be honest. I know that some people think that Edie and Amelia act like sport brats, but that's down to Jonathan and Anna because of the way they've spoiled them. It's not really his to blame for that. Um, as I said, it's just about spreading love and not hate. It's about allowing Edie to be who she wants to be. And allowing her to be who she is. Allowing her to be the happy, confident, lively, bubbly, energetic, happy girl that she is. You know, and Edie shouldn't have to hide away who she truly is. She should be able to be proud of that. She should take pride in who she is. Um, because I think Edie has a lot to take pride in, and I think, she should be proud. She should be proud of herself for the fact that she made such a big decision at such a young age. I don't, it doesn't matter to me whether Edie's trans. All that matters to me really is that those kids are happy. All that matters most, I think what matters most is that Edie is happier than she ever was before. You know, and that's what people need to think about is that Edie is so much happier, and is so much of a happy mother, and is a much more happier kid than she ever was before. You know, I honestly think that this transition to becoming, through becoming a girl was the best decision she ever made. I think it was the best. I think I think it's the best thing she ever did. I think it, I think it's a decision that that hasn't impacted her life in a negative way. I think that her becoming trans has actually had a somewhat very positive impact on Edie, on Edie's life, on Edie, and and on her life, you know. But as I said, all that matters and all that will ever matter is that Edie's happy. That's the most important thing is that at least Edie's happy. That's all that matters is that the child is happy. Nothing else. Nothing else will ever matter more than that. You know, that is what matters most. That is what matters more than anything else. Is that the child is happy. And that she is proud of who she is, and she is, and and what matters most is that she is able to be who she wants to be. And that's why I'm saying that people need to back off and just let her and allow her to be who she is, and allow her to be what she wants to be. People. It's crazy how people seem to be getting so wound that seem to be fighting over something that doesn't even affect them. All I'm saying is people just need to stop the fighting and the arguing and the negative comments and just be there to support Edie, and support Edie every step of the way, and just be respectful, allow Edie to be who she is, you know. Think about the fact that Edie's happier now than she was, but than she was before. Think about the fact that Edie's more confident now than she was before. That's what people really need to think about. That's what I've been thinking about lately, and it's something I've seen with watching, quite a few of Jonathan's videos. Is you can really see just how much happier Edie is. As a girl, you can see that it was the best decision that she ever made. It was the right decision to make, and I don't know what else to say. Just allow her to be who she wants to be. Just respect her for who she is. Simple as that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you for another one very soon. Bye bye.